Namaste, beautiful yogis. Welcome to Ali Kamenova Yoga. I'm Ali, and I am coming on today to just talk briefly about the current times and just a little bit of a talk video, a little bit of current perspective or touching base, communicating with you the current times and how to deal with them, or what can we do if you want to take action. So I'm not gonna go deep into anything because it's just a quick video unplanned. I just finished shooting a class and I figured I'll come on YouTube because I don't do a lot of ongoing videos on YouTube, just to connect with you on here on this platform. The current times, I feel that there is a big shift from 2020 to 2021. 2020 was almost like collecting our tools, gathering our strength, preparing. It was more of a waiting, preparing game, adjusting emotionally, adjusting, grieving the old, and dealing with the shadow, which we did on the last fall workshop. We did a lot of more of those intense themes of dealing with the shadow, transforming the self, integrating more of the self into the body. Very important, because as we are able to look deeper down into our own darkness, we're able to transform it and do the same with the world. As we look deeper into the world as a world built out of polarity, darkness and light, we're able to transform it and bring wholeness into it. So we become the vessel, the ray of light, we become the mitigator, the transformative energy. So now the energy has shifted. We're in the year of, and I don't know if I'm happy about it. I'm just surrendering to it, of Saturn square Uranus energy, because this energy will dominate the year. It started in February, the first square, then we have one in June and one in December, 24th of December. So the whole year will have that taste of Saturn Uranus meeting into a square, and it is the restrictive energy, the time, the karma, obstruction versus the breaking free, the freedom within the earth, the freedom within the physical body, because Uranus is in Taurus. So that energy is quite powerful. It also affects nature because we saw the last square was when the Texas storm happened. So it's a powerful force that wants to break free, and the struggle is it's the energy that will allow it to break through an area where there was no possibility of opening before. And I think with 2021 we're coming more into a place of holding the energy that we've crystallized in the previous year, in 2020, which was a very significant year for humanity, a year when we closed one chapter and we opened. Now we're opening another chapter. 2021 is on the equinox, is going to be year one. According to a few calendars, including the Bulgarian calendar. So we go from year 0 to year 1, and even though I already did the shadow and all of that work, it still continues. Everybody is at a different schedule, so it all continues, but everybody can do something different. But the main thing to do is to really hold your energy, and to always hold that higher perspective, that even if different things are a possibility within the physical timeline, within the 3D experience, the expanded experience the grand lesson of what's happening right now is that the soul is entering a new experience for herself. So the soul herself has a grand opportunity of expansion beyond this life, within her existence. And also we are having a different opportunity within our own uh, not only level of consciousness or consciousness expression, but also within beyond this life expressions of existence. How do I say this in a very simple way? Say before we had a certain experience of samsara where we were just experiencing a certain level of existence, of incarnation. Now I feel we're given the opportunity to view the 3D from a bird's eye view, from a higher perspective, to have a deeper understanding of it from out as an outsider. So we see the grid, it's almost the veil lifting, we see it a little better, and we have a better, a different perspective of our extended experience beyond this life. So regardless of what happens, we have a mass grand opportunity right now to change society for the better. We're on the hero's journey, and I did the hero's journey yoga, so we're now in the dark the dark area, the valley. But you know, with the hero's journey, where the darkness gets, when it's the darkest, that's before, you know, the light breaks in. And it also gives us all an opportunity to clean up things that were dysfunctional in our society. They're all coming through to the surface, and it's giving us an opportunity for some people say do-over. I think a friend said to me a do-over this morning. We can have a do-over of how we structure certain things in society, or we can really begin to build from a different consciousness level. So that's why it's so important within ourselves, our consciousness, to be at a certain way, to work on our own darkness, on our own trauma, so that we can integrate more of the soul into this experience, so that we can hold within ourselves more light. And as we hold more light, we can look at the darkness. The thing with not being able to look at our own darkness, and people that only focus on the positive, you have yoga teachers, you have spiritual teachers, happens. They only focus on the positive. That does just as much good as only being in the negative, right? If you're just only either being in the action towards the negative, or only looking at negative stuff, or only looking at positive, the results is the same. There is ignorance, because we can't see the whole, the completeness of the story, and then our actions come from that. So we can't take an informed action, we can't make an informed decision, we can't act from the heart, because there is fragmentation. I feel that I'm getting a little maybe too metaphysical here, but I just wanted to speak a little bit about the times. And of course, there is not one thing that all of us can do, to one action we can take. We can't go change other people, or all of us can be activists, or we can't all do the same thing. But we're coming to a place where we're, besides holding our own frequency, besides being able to transform our own reality by being able to see things we weren't able to see before, that is very important. We spread, obviously, that level of consciousness and frequency out into outside of ourselves, so we affect the whole. But it's also that all of us will be able to take different form of action once we align with our own truth. So some people will be activists, other people will make small changes within certain systems. Some people will resist certain changes, or certain oppressions, and everybody will find their own action, their own pull, wherever you feel most inspired, most passionate, most awakened, most activated, most fired up. That's where you will find your own work and service, because we're coming into a place on earth when we'll be needed to serve in new ways. And because our own consciousness is shifting and expanding, and we're seeing reality from a different perspective, because we're seeing certain things that were behind the curtains, now the curtains are open and we can see them. Now reality seems a little different from how we used to perceive it. With that new awareness and understanding of our reality, we can find a different service, new service, even if it's the same service, new consciousness within the service. And that doesn't mean that you need a platform, you need a YouTube video, you need to be a spiritual teacher, a yoga teacher or something. No, not at all. Everybody can affect in different ways. We're just gonna find, and even if you're a yoga teacher, you may not be doing anything good if you're not coming from a place of consciousness. So just a title doesn't mean anything, but we have to, the energy we put into our work obviously will guide the type of work we do and the impact it has. And it guides who we are and the impact our beingness has in the world. So obviously nothing specific that we can all do to affect change and to change the world for the better, so we're not experiencing darker times. So we don't have to reach the absolute bottom in order for us to begin to pull the light in. But yeah, hold your frequency, hold your light, be able to deal with your own self so that you're not coming out in the world with your traumas and with your shadow, but you have mitigated them. As you mitigate them, you become whole. So more, you can hold more light and you can express wholeness. More of the soul comes in, and as you recognize your own shadow, you can recognize that externally. You don't point fingers, you don't see it as something external, but something that you have the tools to integrate, to alchemize, to transform, to change. Those are a lot of the tools from the previous workshop, the shadow and the work. Now in this, we're going to focus a little more on new creativity, new ways to tap into our creative potential for service, how to serve. Also, on my website, the theme for this month is Crystal Healing Yoga. So all these themes are going to be covered. Obviously, a different aspect of this new consciousness, new energy of the times theme. I feel that the themes are so intense and so tangible and so palatable, and they keep changing, and I feel very inspired about those themes at the moment I do them. When you find them, that's when it's right for you, of course, but I feel the themes strongly, and I quickly put them in classes, and then they keep evolving, transforming, changing. So those are just the tools that take us on that path towards where we're going. And the crystal healing feels like a very good theme for the moment, because each crystal, when I meditate on it, when I contemplate it, a different awareness comes to me. I want to share a different awareness, and what you receive partially will be what I intended, but predominantly will be something that's coming from within you, something that's streaming from contemplating the crystal or sitting in the space of the class, because the class is that, it holds space. Any one of us is just here to hold space for others in certain ways, and to assist others in certain ways, in different areas of life. So the classes, again, will expand this on where we can serve, how we can act, what action we can take, how we can contribute. The workshop will be a lot about new creativity, manifesting what we want to see, so that we don't feel victimized by the world moving in a direction that we don't like, but we holding a vision. Despite we don't want to stick our head in the sand and pretend that only good stuff is happening. No, despite what we see as a possibility, as a push, we can still, that's kind of like the shadow, despite that we can hold our shadow, we don't become just the shadow, we're able to transform it and use it as the place, as the wound where the light enters. So it becomes actually an opportunity for expansion. So does this time of dark energy in the world becomes an opportunity for massive grand consciousness expansion, and also the build of a new system that is there is an opportunity to just everything to be cleaned up, for us to see everybody's energy clearly, to see the soul of people, of what they're made out of, because now it's almost like the litmus test. Everything is coming crystal clear on the surface. So with all of that opportunity, with all of that coming up to the surface, or being in the energy of the times, we have the opportunity to do something way more aligned with our own soul frequency. So creating a new system, new society, new experience on earth, new life, based on this expanding new consciousness. So seeing ourselves as the conscious creators and manifestors of reality, not as reality said, and we just kind of moving through it, and also just only choosing our own experience, maybe within manifestation, but beyond that, manifesting that expanded reality for everybody, or collective reality. All right, today obviously it's a little more vague of a metaphysical of a talk, but I hope it brought something to you. If you have questions, I might try to come back for another video. Join me for the workshop on the equinox. We'll talk a lot about our new work in the world, and for the crystal classes that are very specific, which with each theme kind of going deeper into a certain focusing on something that is consciousness. Today was Rhodochrosite yoga. That's why I decided to wear this band, because it looks just like rhodochrosite. It really does, even though those are roses, but that's how rhodochrosite also looks. So it was trauma healing. As we heal the trauma, we create space for more of the soul to become integrated into the body, so we become more embodied, whole. The shadow is an expression of the mother wound, the wounded feminine. So as we heal it, we heal the earth, we heal the collective mother wound, we bring more of the soul in, we become powerful beings as we bring more of the soul into the physical, because the more wounded we are, the more fragmented we are. We become more fragmented, and just a fragment of the soul is here. We don't have access to a lot of it, but the more we heal, the more we bring it in, and it is a powerful experience to be an embodied soul, to be an expanded consciousness. So Rhodochrosite was a beautiful class, highly recommended for contemplating. These classes are not meant to just heal you with one class. They're a deep focus, an intention, almost an impulse that may get activated during the class, or it might be something that sits within the spectrum of your awareness, intentions, and at some point it activates. Sometimes things happen at a different moment, or it could be a slow process. You keep coming back to the class, so it could be different. It could be you just put it as a idea of dissolving the armor, creating luminescence of protection around the heart, dissolving the armor around the heart, and becoming a heart open individual, moving from the heart out. All right, I'll see you soon. I'll see you with the workshop and with the classes. Namaste, and keep being the bright light that you are. Hold that frequency.